And we are live, everybody. Welcome to Ask a Wizard. Sorry, we are super behind and late. We're missing a show. Everything went really badly today, but we are live. We got a show here for you, and we're going to be doing some pretty cool stuff here today. Give this stream some likes and shares. We did not get any promotion out for it today, so there's not anybody showing up yet because we didn't have any time to do any of that. So if you could help us out by liking and sharing the stream so that YouTube doesn't continue to censor us and block us because we have bad numbers because of the whatever nonsense they're doing. They do appear to have removed like over 150 subs in the last few hours based on the censorship that's going on across the country on social platforms. So if you could give this thing a like and a share to get it out, that would be much appreciated. And we'll be talking about the multiple solutions that we already have in place as solutions to this problem and what you can do about it as well. OPVs, can you confirm the audio is working? I just want to make sure the microphone audio, we didn't get to check it because we didn't have time to do any of our work today.
Yeah, it's working.
Awesome. Cool. All right. So for today's show, we have the Tunguska event, the Rods of God. We're going to be talking about the Blemmyes Cryptids, and I'm going to make your drink minty fresh at home, plus so much more. So we're going to be doing that in just a bit. If you'd like to get a live wizard reading, make sure that you like and share the stream. That will qualify you for the free live wizard readings in the middle and the end of today's show. And make sure that you send your letters to P.O. Box 8888, Missoula, Montana. And actually, what is my zip code? 59807. That is the place to send your letters if you want to have your letters read live on air and join our letter club list. So with that, we're going to move right on into the Weekly Weird. This week in Weird, the tech giants are plummeting after they illegally censored the commander-in-chief. So social media companies, Twitter and Facebook, along with a lot of others, committed an act of domestic terrorism involving censoring the commander-in-chief of America. And they were actually partnered with the coup attempt that's being conducted right now with the Democrats in China, who committed election fraud. And so after this act of terrorism, well, they found out, it turns out if you ban the person who makes up like 80% of the reason people go to a social platform, it's not the most effective strategy you can do for your platform. And so all of their stocks have been plummeting, like just unseen losses for Twitter, unseen losses for Facebook, and even Amazon is beginning to plummet downwards. So it's like, I can't imagine, it's like YouTube gets rid of PewDiePie and suddenly there's less people coming to YouTube. I wonder why. It's like, duh, you kicked him off your platform, dummies. And so they took out the PewDiePie of PewDiePie. Let's be real here. Trump makes PewDiePie look like a drop in the bucket when it comes to the engagement he's getting on Twitter and Facebook and all these channels. You're talking about billions of impressions just gone. And of course, you have the people who are just enraged as well because they're committing an act of domestic terrorism on their platform by censoring the commander-in-chief. And so people are leaving in swaths. Now, in terms of leaving, going to places like MeWe is a great place that people are going. DLive is a good alternative as well. A lot of different social alternatives exist. I've heard bad things about Parler. I think you were telling me it got banned or something. Yeah. I don't know anything about Parler other than, I've signed up for every social platform that's ever been made for my job. It's part of, whenever anything enters into the top 50, you sign up and you check it out to see what's the functionalities of this as a part of my work. But other than just signing it looked like a bad interface of Twitter. That was all I really took away from it, and I heard it got banned. But I think MeWe's still doing great. I think that, I've heard Gab, good things about Gab. Personally, I think, though, the real future is what we've been talking about here for a really long time, which is how to grow the community without using tech. And this is what has been a really big emphasis here at Ask a Wizard. And this is the letter clubs. At the bottom of the screen, you can see my P.O. Box right here. P.O. Box 8888, Missoula, Montana, 59807. Send your letters there. You do not need to send financial support, even though it is greatly appreciated. You send a letter there, and once you do, we have access to your letter, and that allows us to send physical letters in the mail through the P.O. box, through the mail system, which is run by the government. So it's not something that a private company could ever turn off, and has a lot of stability in that regard. So, we're going to be going over the steps on how you can start building the community and help this grow. And if you haven't sent a letter yet, please make sure you do. By the way, we had someone, I need to know who it was. If you're there, someone sent us a custom knife that we're going to be opening in our first letters. They sent this in the mail. We're going to be opening that. Thank you so much for sending it. I haven't been able to figure out who it's from, though. So if you are here or if you're seeing this video, please comment. We're going to be opening that in just a bit. Thank you very much. And we'll be looking at that product here in a bit. That being said, you don't need to send in a product. If you do, I greatly appreciate it. I thank you very much. But just sending any letter at all, and that will get you on the letter club, because we'll have your address here. We have all the letters saved right here for any of those times. So, more or less, in this build, grow, and create segment, we're entering into an age of increasing censorship online. This has been going on for, probably at least 5-6 years now. It's getting really, really bad. And this is why we've been emphasizing since the start of this show. P.O. box, send it, letters in the mail, alternative communication channels. And so, for example, communication channels that are alternative for us are Discord and the letter systems. So, my opinion, which is completely unprofessional, I'm not a financial advisor, that being said, I think growing a community of people is the most valuable thing you can be doing during these times that we're entering into. And so we're going to go over 3 steps that you can start doing to help build the community that we have going on here at the Owls. So the first and foremost is strong and multiple secure communication channels. So this for us is sending letters, Discord, we have Instagram, we have Facebook, we have YouTube, we have DLive accounts, we have Reddit accounts. We are on a lot of different platforms and have various different ways to continue communication if there's ever a disruption in that. So highly recommend get on our letter list, send a letter in the mail, join our private Discord. If you don't know what that is, send us a DM. We'll send you the link. We do check out your information and do a little checks before we let anyone into those things. The second one is to share this stream personally with friends and invite your friends and chat about it in person with your friends. You don't have to rely on these algorithms. They've been against us for most of the history of this show because of the nature of what we talk about. The algorithms are not very happy with that. And so the only way this show gets any growth at all is when you literally tell your friend, like, here is the link. Here is where the stream is. Sending them a text, inviting them over to your house and watching it together. Chatting about it with your friends. So that's how you can start to grow the community. And finally, what we need to establish is a revenue stream. Without revenue streams, we have created an army of people without a war chest. And so I am currently working on developing a way to build revenue to the show, but also I want it to allow everyone who's within the community to also benefit and be able to earn income as well. So that's what we're working on. It's called the Wizard Library. That's the 3rd stronghold that we need to get set up here. So the things that you can help with building the community is just getting this message out to your friends. Once the Wizard Library is launched, it will also give you access to increasing your revenue within the community. And that's crucial because we're coming into a time where people are being censored for their political beliefs. And you might be left-wing, you might be right-wing. It doesn't really matter who you are because they will come for you. It doesn't matter if you think you're the most liberal in the world. It doesn't matter if you think you're the most Republican in the world. These people are not Republicans or Democrats. They are people who worship Satan. They are evil people who want to bring evil to you. And that means that you need to start building and growing and creating communities that don't support that. And that's what we're doing here at Ask a Wizard. So that would be my recommendation for you guys, to start helping with growing the community and look to the future here. We've got some really good stuff coming in that I think is going to really make you happy and make a difference in the world, especially with the way things are going. The great thing about the way we've built this is we've built it without the support of any outside funding. This is all internal. This is all us, and it's all from you and your support. And so when you guys support this, we don't have ulterior motives. We built this thing to be stable and strong. And so if the social situations go poorly, things get worse, we have all the infrastructure to make this thing even better and grow with that. If things go well, we can work with that as well. There's no downside here. So go out there, stay strong, have high morale, don't be afraid. And I think things are looking pretty good. And I think that they're going to be better in the future. And you guys will have to just sit around and see and wait. In the meantime, how about, instead of being afraid, instead of watching the flashing boxes telling you lies, what if we watch an incredible video instead? All right, let's take a look at a close-up cobra encounter. So this is a really cool video of a drone, or I think it's like a car actually, that has a camera strapped to it. And so you get to see a cobra in person up close, as if it were striking without actually someone dying, which is pretty cool. It comes from a Cape Snake Conservation, and they teach you about the nature of snakes and why they're not to be afraid and how you can avoid getting bit by them. However, this thing's pretty scary. You can sub at Cape Snake Conservation right here if you want to check out this video. So this is a very venomous cobra. This thing will straight up kill you with a bite, and they're going to let it loose. It's pretty crazy how fast they move. I had no idea how quick they can go. Look at that. It's crazy how fast they can move without feet. Whew. I don't know if I could outrun. Do you think you could outrun that?
I think so.
It's insane. It's so crazy how fast this cobra is. So apparently cobra's natural instinct is actually just to avoid conflict. So they just hide if they're not, if they don't have to. Which is good to know. But he's going to irritate it anyway. Watch this. Boom. Woof. Oh. Isn't it crazy to think that bite right there is enough to just drop like an elk? It's just gone. Just one little nib from that thing. Absolutely insane. So that is the Cape Cobra striking the camera. Let's see if we can get that one more time. Right here. Boom. Now, what's crazy, I actually found out while doing this, so the cobra strikes, right? Goes and bites. Apparently, a martial artist punching their fist is 10 times faster than a cobra strikes. So you can, and their reaction time is just incredibly slow. So like a martial artist can go up to a cobra, go up, grab it, and pull it back and hold its head before the cobra even realizes what's happening. So exactly. So this is why that guy was like such a legend, is they're actually a lot slower than people's hands. So like it's well within people's capacity to just grab them. Now, obviously, don't do this. Don't try this. But I was watching a video that had a martial artist who was able to go up, grab the snake, and hold it. And the snake's just like, what happened here? This is absurd. Really crazy. And so that is the Cobra video. And with that, we're going to move on to our next segment here, which is History's Mysteries, the Tunguska event, one of the largest cosmic events that no one is talking about. It's pretty crazy, and we're going to take a look at what it was, what happened, and some of the theories around what could have caused it. So we're going all the way back to 1908. Siberia had a major impact / explosion. We're not really sure what it was. And the estimated explosive force that was generated during this day is 1,000 times more force than what happened in Hiroshima. I didn't even realize my lights are off. My goodness. There we go. Fix that. Sorry again for the delayed show and the issues going on and the lack of announcement and whatnot. My apologies, guys. This explosion here in 1908 was more powerful than 1,000 Hiroshima nuclear bombs going off. So just out of the blue, 1908, massive explosion goes off, 1,000 times more than a Hiroshima bomb. And this is what, I guess, a good 20, 22, 23-ish. How many years before the actual bombs were dropped in Hiroshima? So I guess almost 30 years. That'd be more than 30, right? So 35? Quite a ways before the Hiroshima bomb. Now, this explosion was felt is an understatement. 40 miles away from this explosion, a man was sitting in a rocking chair and was sent flying backwards out of his rocking chair through the air, smashed into a wall, and apparently felt as if his body was on fire when he was hit by the impact. And this is 40 miles away from the impact site. For hundreds of miles around this area, windows were shattered, and the shockwave was so strong that people in Europe were registering it as a small earthquake. So this thing is just insane. After impacting, it left the skies illuminated for 2 weeks, so bright that from London to Asia, you could read a newspaper in the middle of the night without a light. For weeks. And so this thing, just massive explosion, lights up the sky. And it did not until like 20 or 30 years later, they're actually able to go out and investigate this spot. And an investigator goes out and finds 83 million trees have been completely leveled for a 600-mile perfect circle. And that's actually what this photo is of here. This is it. However, what even makes it more strange is, as you can see that little circle picture here, if we go back, that little circle picture here in the corner represents what the trees were like. They actually fell straight up. So they were removed, left standing straight up. Their bark had been stripped and they became charred, but not burnt, just charred. And so the locals, the reason it took so long for people to actually check it out is no one wanted to go near it because they thought it was an angry god in their native culture who had just lost his mind. And so it wasn't until a while until anyone talked about the true location of this spot. So now that you guys have the facts, this is what we know. Could you change it? Now you know what we know. Now we're going to get into some of the theories as to what it could be that caused it. So, the most common theory presented by scientists, which again, less than a coin flip of accuracy here, is that it was a meteor impact. And so they believe a meteor hit the Earth and then vaporized upon impact. A second theory is what's called the bounce theory. And they believe that the meteor impacted but was made of iron and hit the Earth and bounced off of the Earth and went back into space. So that's the two major theories that come out from scientists. However, neither of these theories fully explain the issue because, as we saw earlier with that image, there's no impact crater. So if you look here, you can see where on the left we have what happened, where the the explosion went off, and on the right we have an impact crater. This is what happens when an asteroid or a meteor hits the Earth. It causes a massive cavity to open up in the ground. So that's not here. No one found an impact crater, and no one's found any debris from any asteroid. So that's where people starting to speculate as to, well, okay, then what could it have been? And so there's other theories on the horizon. The first one is something that's called the Rods from God, also known as Project Odin/Thor. So this is a military program that is true, exists. However, we don't know if it's ever actually been used at this capacity, at this level. We do know that they used this technology during the Vietnam War on a small scale as bunker busters. So you would drop these large metal rods without an explosive element, just really heavy pieces of metal from high up, and the speed alone would make them into essentially missiles. So the Rods from God is essentially doing that with a massive weight, and you can lift this massive weight because you're in orbit, so you don't have the actual weight of the object, and then taking it into space and then dropping it from space down on the target. Now, the models that apparently exist can deploy what would essentially be 1,000 times the power of a nuclear bomb without any radiation, without any payload, and with a deploy time of 15 minutes to any location on the planet. So that's what's the potential of these Rods from God. So people are wondering, what if this was one of those weapons? What if that's what caused this impact? The question then, I guess, would be, where is the rod? Well, maybe the military took that piece and took it away. And so that's where this particular theory is. And it's important to note also, multiple countries have researched this technology. China has its own. I think they call it the sticks from God or something, the canes from God, similar thing. But they have a similar technology that they're working on as well. Another theory is, and this one's a pretty wild theory, I'm not putting my eggs in this basket, but they believe that with the experiments that were going on with nuclear power, that aliens mistook some of our explosive testing as a threat, and that we were challenging them to war. And so the aliens were demonstrating their power to the Earth. And so they shot it with a giant laser beam. And that was just to say, hey, don't mess with us. And so that's the alien theory. Also, at the time, they were working with new communication technology, and they sent a signal off into space in an area that supposedly had likely life. And they thought, oh, maybe they misinterpreted our signal as a threat and sent a laser. So those are the two alien theories. Another interesting one is that perhaps it was an internal natural gas explosion. Now, this theory is interesting because Russia's had a similar issue with natural gas explosions in the past. There was a natural gas leak, and the government decided the way that they were going to fix it was to light it on fire to burn up all the gas. This didn't go very well. It started burning and burning and did not stop for years. This thing was burning. People claimed that when they would come near it, they could hear the sounds of people screaming in hell, and claims of seeing demons exiting it, things of this nature, all just absolute insanity from this fire that they lit. So obviously Russia's got a lot of natural gas stored up in there, so perhaps that's what's happening here. But then you would think, if it's a natural gas explosion, wouldn't the trees be more burnt than just charred? Why would it go away so quickly? And so that's where that theory falls apart. And of course, Tesla, again, is involved. Tesla made another crazy invention, which just so happens to match up with exactly what happened there, which is a ability to make something that was about 1,000 times more powerful than a nuclear bomb. It causes it has something to do with energy, so it would create a luminous light, and it's all matching up here with this particular impact site of crazy invention goes off, causes a massive flash, devastating, and it's out in Siberia, so this isn't like around people or anything. This is out in the middle of nowhere. So there's little risk to the people around them from this particular impact. But that's where we're at currently. That's it. That's all we know. We don't have any insight as to what caused it. There's no official story, and frankly, it's still a mystery. And so people are sitting around trying to figure out what could this thing have been, what could have caused it, and I don't know. Frankly, I think of the way the ones that come out here, the obvious one that makes the most sense is the alien shooting laser. It's the rods from God. I think the rods from God seems pretty realistic, and then the internal gas explosion. Those are the two that I'm leaning towards, just on a gut instinct. But I'm not sure. It doesn't seem like an asteroid or a meteor, because there's no impact site and there's no debris. And those are like two things you would 100% see. Even if it bounced, the bounce theory, iron thing, boom, and bounced back into space. Okay, so you don't have debris. You would still have a crater. It's not like it's just going to go like perfectly flat. It's just not going to happen. So that is my take on this particular one. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Let me get your opinions and let me know. And we're going to move on to the next segment. Boop. This next one is an incredible video where a whale nearly swallows a boat. This is pretty insane. This dude's just out kayaking out in the ocean, and then a monster from beneath decides to have a snack and just barely misses this guy. This is insane. Let's take a look here. All right, so this is a fisherman. He's just out on a kayak doing some fishing. No biggie. Let's fix that audio for you here. Boom. His tip of his boat literally nicked its lip. Wow. Isn't that insane? Just paddling away. It's like, oh man, where do you even paddle to? Oh, there it is. It's right back there. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's not scary when it's that far away. But my gosh, when it's literally almost eats you. Look how close it came to eating him. So there's nothing. You can't see a thing. It's so crazy to think you got an 80-foot creature just right under the surface there and you can't even see it. And then just, oh, what is that? Is that a rock? Is that a rock off in the distance? Oh no. Oh no, that's just a giant whale that's literally touching the tip of my boat. Boom. Absolutely insanity. Where did the birds come from? Where did the birds come? Were they there the whole time? So there's, oh, they're just circling. Okay, so they're circling and then they land. Look at that. They all circle and land where the whale is. I wonder why. Maybe catching like fish that got swashed up on top. Wow. That's insane. And so that is just one more reason to stay out of the oceans. Let me tell you, that is just absurd to me. I don't understand why people go into the ocean. It's quite frankly absurd. Sharks, jellyfish, whales, dolphins, everything kills you in the ocean. They're all monsters. It's just giant monsters. Dolphins will kill you so fast. They headbutt you real hard and you die. They're really mean. That being said, it's time to move on to magic, illusion, and the arcane arts. Today we are going to be looking at an incredible spinning ball illusion, a classic magic show clip, and I am going to have you enjoy a sip of paracosmically generated minty flavor. So if you'd like to take part in this experiment, what you would like to do is get a beverage of any kind. It doesn't have to be anything specific. I'm using water, coffee, tea, anything you want. And what we're going to do is actually activate what's called a paracosm. And you will experience, through the powers of the confirmation bias, the placebo effect, and a paracosm, the effect of a minty flavor to your beverage. So when you take a sip, you might smell mint, taste mint, even have the physical sensations of mint. It won't be a very strong, it'll be a light flavor, but when you sip it, you'll notice it, and that is what we're going to be shooting for. So if you'd like to experience that with your friends and not feel like a crazy person when you're like, no, trust me, man, the wizard on the internet told me that my drink tasted minty, and it did, and they're going to be like, who are you, you crazy person? Now's a good time to like the stream and share it out and get them on over here so that they believe you when it happens. And while we wait, while you go ahead and share this thing out, we're going to take a look at those first 2 magical clips. All right, let's get this started here. Crazy circle illusion. Here we go. So what you're seeing here is what appears to be a white ball of circle, a circle of white balls spinning around in a red ball. But in reality, each ball is actually just moving in a straight line. Isn't that crazy? This is like an illusion of motion. I think that this actually is a great image here to sum up why conspiracy theories and magic are so effective. The mind is so effective at putting together different ideas. So you have things that are true. So fact, fact, fact. And what our brain tends to do is paint a bigger fact around all these different facts. So you can kind of think of these white balls as individual facts, and then the conspiracy theorist or the magician is making what appears to be the illusion of the spinning ball. But in reality, it's all different things that are true, but then we paint the story, the narrative of the moving ball. And this is just another demonstration of how it really is just a single ball moving on a line. So when you break them down separately, it's pretty obvious. Like each one of these you would examine and say, yeah, that's a ball moving in a straight line. But once you start combining them all together, you start to make a new image, what appears to be the illusion of motion. Woo. This would be a good screensaver, wouldn't it? And so that's how you get back to the original spinning illusion here, is the balls in the spinning circle. Just like that. Isn't that bizarre? And so that's, I think, a really great example of the way our minds can put things together sometimes. It's very, very interesting indeed. And next up on the list, we have a classic magic clip. This is a really cool one. I'm probably going to get popped for this, but I don't care. I want you guys to see classics of magic, and if that means I get popped for spreading attention to a video with 2,334 views, so be it. This is a 55-second clip of a old school magic show, talent show. So they put together some footage in the 1930s of a magic talent show going on in Chicago. And so I thought this was really interesting to see like these old clips of magicians at just, you know, a local talent show. So we got little kids here, we got adults, we got professionals, we got everyone. They're all going to do a little act demoing their products. So this guy's an escape artist. Oh. Boom! And he escapes from the chains. Classic effect. I've done the same thing with you, but I do it with rope. Similar effect. Very, very awesome. This, you got a little girl. She's doing the classic hangman's effect. Oh, wow. Very effective. Tying the knots around. Okay. Listen, it's not that big a deal. It's okay. You're going to be okay. No. Ah, very good. Very impressive. Look at that. Look at that showmanship. I'm so proud of her. Boom. And this guy's doing some classic card manipulation. Beautiful. Ooh, always got a bird in the cage. Gone. Instantly gone. And that is the classics of Magic right there that I wanted to pull up for you guys. We'll probably get popped, even though that was transformational content. We commentated over it. It was less than 15 seconds apiece. But that being said, I'm sure YouTube doesn't actually care because they're not a fan of our channel. And so we'll find out. We'll find out, won't we? And with that, we're going to move on to my effect for you guys here today. And we're going to attempt to make your beverage at home taste minty fresh. Be quiet, ad. Stop. This is disgusting. Oh, I couldn't care less about your existence. All right, here we go. Just as a heads up, as always, so what you're seeing on the screen here is an image of a hypnotic spiral. This is going to cause an optical illusion, which will trigger what's called the placebo effect. That's going to cause you to have optical visual changes for a small amount of time, as well as allow me to trigger the paracosmic effects, which will make your beverage taste like it's kind of minty at home. However, if you have any issues with moving images, flashing images, anything that is triggered by moving pictures, flashing color, anything like that, this is not a good thing to watch, apparently, unless you already know you're good with these. That being said, if you're not into this kind of thing, if it freaks you out, you don't want to be involved with it, that's fine too. You can turn off the spiral, you can turn off the audio, and it won't have an effect on you at all. And even if it does have an effect on you, like you participate and you decide you don't like it, within 15 seconds the effect will be gone anyway. So there's nothing long-term about this at all. We've designed this paracosm very specifically to be something that is short-term and temporary, and for entertainment purposes only. So that's our little disclaimer. We're going to begin that process now. And if you don't want to take part, again, turn off the audio, put down the screen. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. So all you're going to do is stare at the center of the spiral here, and I am going to have my voice go over to activate the paracosmic effect. To take part, make sure you have a beverage of some sort. It could be water, it could be coffee, it could be tea, it could be wine, it could be whatever you want, but do make sure that you have it in front of you. And what you're going to do is have your drink out there and put one hand on top of the beverage, covering the top of your cup as you look into the center of the spiral. And we're going to do that right now in 3, 2, 1. So as you're focusing in on the center of the spiral now, I want you to go and think in your mind, imagine a time that you had a really strong mint reaction, something that tasted very minty to you. Maybe it was ice cream. Maybe you made that foolish mistake of tasting mint extract because it smelt so good. Perhaps you've eaten a mint leaf, but you can imagine all those minty flavors now. And what you want to truly do is visualize the smell. Imagine smelling it in your mind. And if you're looking at the spiral and your eyes are strained at all, it's perfectly fine to blink. There's no problem with that at all. Don't worry about those kinds of things and just focus on instead that minty sensation now, and the smell, the taste, the experience on the tongue, that cooling effect that it tends to have on the throat as well. You can imagine all of those things now. And what I want you to do is come up with a color to represent that in your mind. And as you're visualizing that color in your mind, for me, mine's green. Yours might be different, and that's fine too. Imagine the color that you like, and visualize that color starting to come through the palm of your hand and to the bottom of your cup. And as you do that, and you're staring at the spiral now, imagining that color, imagine it starting to fill up the cup, starting at the bottom, moving all the way to the top, filling it with the mint colored now. And once you feel it reaching the top, you're going to actually feel a strange tingle on your palm. Once you feel that, you'll know that it's been charged and it's ready to go. It should be happening in 3, 2, 1. If you felt the tingle, it should be ready to go now. And we're going to stop the spiral here in just a second, and you're going to try a sip and note the increased minty flavor, the minty smell, and the cooling sensation on your throat from the mint. In 3, 2, 1. You can go ahead and look at your cup now, experiencing that effect, and have the minty flavor. And have the Paracosmic sip. And that is your minty beverage. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you like that effect and experienced it below. If you had some good experiences, if that was fun and cool for you, please let us know in the comment section below what your experience was. I hope you enjoyed that, and share it with your friends so that they can experience it as well. Thank you guys so much for taking part in the magic, and we're going to move on to Wizard Readings and Letters. Do-do-do-do. Now, I don't think we have any live wizard readings for today. Again, we didn't promote anything, didn't put the link out, didn't get this thing set up. Heck, we didn't even do a magic show on TikTok because we were so behind. But we did get some mail. So the initial box that this came in, I'm not going to show the address, obviously, is Gerber's brand here. And it's from Oregon. So thank you very much for sending this on in. It also contained what is called a smaller box. Very cool stuff. You can check this out, and came with a Gerber sticker here. And I always thought Gerber was like the baby company, but I guess there's like a different kind of Gerber, which is more about stabby than babies, maybe. So I'm not sure who sent this in. So if you sent this in, please let us know. We're gonna take a look here and get it. I'm not sure. Maybe there's like a note inside. Oh no, is it strapped into the packaging here? I think it is. Oh, it's got zip ties on it. Yeah, if only I had the knife that was in here, but I might be able to. Oh, we got some scissors. Sweet. We're going to open that right here. So it appears to be a pocket knife of some sort, made in the USA. I'm a fan already. Gosh, it's so hard to find anything made in the USA, but I hope that changes soon with the fact that we're currently at war with China. Hopefully things start being made in the USA a little bit more. Let's see here. Wow, this is really light. I like that. It's almost like, let's see here. What is this? The Owl of Athena takes its flight only when the shade of night are gathering. Hegel. Hey, it's from Hegel. All right. Yes. Awesome. Well, oh my gosh. It's got the Parliament of Owls logo on it. That's so cool. Oh my gosh. Check that out. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. It literally has it. So this is like a custom made knife. Thank you so much from Gerber's. Gosh, I wish I knew who sent it. Thank you so much for sending this in. Awesome. If you work for Gerber, you guys are legends. I love the Hegel quote. Let me try that again. The Owl of Athena takes its flight only when the shades of night are gathering. Interesting. Very interesting. Very ominous. I would assume it's that when I leave this as my calling card as the Joker, this will be my calling card. Thank you so much. So thank you for putting that in. I'm not sure how to actually close this thing. So I'm just going to leave it open until I don't do it on air and stab myself. Thank you so much for sending that in. And again, did the power go out? We still here? Hey. Well, the blackouts haven't happened yet, boys and girls. Only in the Vatican and only in half of the country now, half the world blacked out. Blackouts haven't happened yet. But thank you so much for sending in the knife. I really appreciate it. Hopefully that Hegel quote isn't predictive. Hopefully that's not a prophecy of the blackouts that are coming. Thank you guys so much for the support. And again, send in your letters. I need to get your letters so we can get you on the letter club in case anything disrupts our communication lines. I want to be able to stay in touch with you guys and keep the owls connected. So that's the best line. I know the Discord's a lot easier, it's a lot more convenient, but it is still a tech company and it's a free product, and they have the ability to ban whatever they want. And it's just not it's a good place to, it's always good to have that backup, have the PO box. And so that would be my recommendations. Thank you guys so much for doing that. And we're going to move on to the next segment. All right, so this is an incredible video here of a bison attacks a very silly woman. You'll be familiar with these people. These are Californian type personalities. They're like, a wild animal, how majestic and wonderful. I want to go and pet it and be with the one with the nature. Typical people who do things like this are like Alexandria. She does terrible, terrible things like this all the time, and I don't understand how you could possibly be this deranged. But yet again, I'm never ceased to be amazed by the foolishness of some people when it comes to wildlife. So these bikers are out on a trail, and they're met with a lot of wild bison just out in the middle of the road. Just a flock of them. Them doing the smart thing, they're like, all right, we're going to stop, but like, we're not going to go and try and pet them. Well, unfortunately, one woman thinks she's braver than nature itself, and she's one with yoga and is going to go pet one or something. So she's gotten off her bike, and she's now stopping to take a selfie with the bison. And, you know, and this is how it typically goes in most situations, is nothing really happens right away, because they think that the bison are trying to lull the silly women into a false sense of security so they can bait out more people. So she gets more and more close to these bison. Oh, they're such gentle creatures. They're so animal-like and wonderful. I bet you they know that I'm not threatening to them, and they want the pets. That's what they're thinking. This is a personality type that exists in woman worlds of California. This is like classic California woman. So the bison are starting to get a bit annoyed. As you can see here, they're forming a formation at the threat that is the woman. So the bison is, one of the bisons is now making a charge for her.
Oh my god.
And he is literally flinging her around like a rag doll. Now, luckily for her, she's perfectly fine. She literally gets up and walks away from this attack. They pick her up. She doesn't even have a broken bone. But my goodness, this bison just messed with her. And what's even crazier is all the other bison are now starting to go full aggro, as you can see. And they're starting to charge too. So you never know when another one of them is just going to fly by and take this out. So not only did you endanger yourself, did you get taken down by a bison, but now you're risking the lives of 4 other people. This is textbook California woman in a nutshell. Just making things not only bad for themselves, but bad for everyone else. It's just so awful. And it's all because of this like false sense of security they have, because they've literally never been threatened by anything in their lives. And so they're like, of course, bisons are cute. They're animals. They're like big fluffy cows. Oh my gosh, the bison is now spinning me like a rag doll. It's terrible. I agree with you. Even with your swear words, I agree with you. And so that's it. That is the bison attack. Let's see. Let's see Mr. Bison going a little nuts here again.
Oh my god, he got her. Holy shit.
Oh my gosh. just flinging her. I guess she must be holding on to the horns or something. That's insanity. Absolutely insanity. So don't mess with bison. They are not just big fluffy cows. Also, side note, don't mess with cows. Cows are actually really dangerous too. They're giant wild animals. Moral of the story, don't be the girl here on the left. Just don't. You don't want to be that. And with that, we're going to move on to the next segment. This is a very important segment. Sorry, well, let's get into character here. This is very serious. Got to make sure my left hand is in frame. Because this is an important topic for us guys. This is something that I think needs to be addressed in society. This is real talk. Real talk, okay? Here we go. In today's segment of Left Hands Matter, I want you to know that I am upset and I am stressed out. And I'm mad at the system. I'm mad that it's taken this long for them to listen. I'm mad at oppressors and the bigots that don't get it. I'm mad at everyone who doesn't understand our mission. And that mission is that left hands matter. How can you not get it? You have never felt pain while cutting paper with scissors. You've never had to feel the struggle of smearing words as you write with pencil. You don't have to worry about dying 9 years earlier every day. That's what your left-handers here, like me, have to deal with every day. A revolution is coming, and I hope you're on the left side. Today, we're going to be looking at left-handed history. The one, the only, the legend, Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves, yes, that's right, everybody. The famous actor Keanu Reeves is a lefty and therefore superior to all righties across the board, and we're going to be showing you just a few of the reasons why. Let's see here. So this is obviously Keanu Reeves, very well known for being the star of the John Wick movies and The Matrix. He's just one of the qualities that he does because of his left hand is gets up from seats to let other women sit down. So when he's on a bus, which he takes as a famous actor, and there are not many seats available, he gets up and lets women sit down. And this is because of his left hand. By the way, this is a stock image. It's the only stock image I could find of a man standing up from his chair. As you can see, he has his right hand out. This is obvious right hand oppression, systemic oppression, clearly. And frankly, I think it's disgusting and wrong. But unfortunately, I'm not provided with an alternative. We didn't get a left hand alternative to this stock photo. So that's just another great example of the systemic oppression of my people. And we're going to move on to another highlight of Keanu Reeves. Well, you see, he has a tendency when he's in a situation, when he meets a fan, to buy ice cream or a treat for the people and then sign the receipt for them in case if they don't have anything for him to sign. So another thing that he did because of his left hand was he bought ice cream for a child and then signed the receipt. Again, signing it with his left hand. He obviously didn't sign it with his right hand, so wouldn't have been able to do it without his left hand to these generous acts of goodness. He's also been secretly donating to children's hospitals with checks that I'm assuming are signed with his left hand. And he's been doing this for just years, just donating millions and millions of dollars to help children's hospitals. Just an absolute legend. Doing this underground, no, but not talking about it, not looking for PR. People dug in, found out his finances, and figured it out. So total legend. Absolutely amazing. In fact, he, when he starred in The Matrix, he gave away almost every penny he made from the movie to his team that built the movie. And he was quoted as saying, "I have enough to live for a few centuries already. I don't need any more." That ties into the most important part. And this is something that's not very well known about left-handed people, but this is a gift that we have, which is called immortality. Keanu Reeves is actually immortal. He's been alive for over 600 years, and this is all because of his left hand. So when he says I already have enough money to live a few centuries, he's speaking literally. He's actually collected money for centuries. As you can see here in this photo, we have a picture of Keanu Reeves from the 1530s. Then you have another famous photo of him in the 1875. Also, we have just the recent documented history here of 1991 to 2017. As you can see, he's literally the same person. There's no change in that timeline. So Keanu Reeves, being left-handed, is also an immortal, and he's got enough money to last him a couple of centuries. So I think that what he does is he gathers his resources, he waits for that population to die off, and he becomes a little bit famous, as we see here in the 1530s and the 1875s. Then he just lives on that money for a couple of generations, and then he comes back into prominence, becomes a famous person again, and so on and so forth. So that's what we're clearly seeing here for Keanu Reeves. This is all due to his left hand. And if you think that that's not true, that's just right-handed bigotry, and frankly, you shouldn't be telling a lefty what to think and do, because left hands matter, okay? And with that, that concludes today's left-handed history. Boom! All right, now we're going to be moving on to the next segment here, which is a paranormal paracosm. This man may have found a serial killer's setup. Hey, Alyssa, how's it going? He is a great guy. Exactly, Alyssa. And the reason he's great is his left hand. It's not his choices. It's not his behaviors. It's not the things that he chooses to do with his life. No. What matters is the hand that he was born with. That's the only thing that matters about Keanu Reeves. If it wasn't for that, he wouldn't have been a good person. Absolutely no. No evidence to support the case at all. So this is... We're done with the segment. I'm allowed to laugh at my own joke now, right? This is the paranormal paracosm. So this guy may have discovered what appears to be the remains of a serial killer setup, like a total psychopath. So this is pretty spooky stuff. Viewer discretion advised if you're afraid of spooky videos. Let's see here. Where are you? Boom. Goodbye, mouse. So this guy has a pretty cool channel. He does metal detecting. He just goes around and metal detects stuff. His channel is called Metal Detecting 24. Go and give him a sub if you're interested in this kind of thing. So he's just out. This is not his usual content. He's usually just finding a ring, finding some coins, finding some bullets, old stuff like that when he's out metal detecting. Well, today he found a little bit more than he was bargaining for. Oh, thank you. Get the owl off. Ugh, get off my screen. No, I don't want a PS5. I want... What do I want? I want a leather-bound edition, complete works of Carl Jung. That's what I want. Not a PS5. So this is what he found out metal detecting in the woods. So there's a metal box in the ground, and inside of it is a steel container hidden under the leaves. This reminds me of, what's his name? From from Yu-Gi-Oh! Kaiba. Kaiba's secret entrance to the Blue Eyes White Dragon cage. He has like a secret door hidden in the ground. So it appears to be a solid like metal trash can of some sort. Gosh, I wouldn't open that. Like, what if it's a bomb? You know? Is that a little sluggo on the bottom? Oh, it's so bizarre. It's so free. And what is... It's like wooden. It looks like he made like a little wooden box, put it in there, buried this metal container in the ground. Alyssa just got off work. Welcome, Alyssa. Yeah, we weren't able to promote the show. We weren't able to send out any of the links. We weren't able to get out any updates. We also weren't able to do a TikTok show today. We're like crazy behind. So, if you want to give this thing a like and a share, it's greatly appreciated. But glad to have you here. When we have to rely on YouTube to promote us, it doesn't work very well because YouTube hates the shows that we do. So they put it out to essentially no one. Also, they kicked off like 150 people over the last like 24 hours from our subscriber list. Not sure why. I heard that this has happened to a lot of people, though. They're purging a lot of people based on their political views because they've aligned with the coup that's currently going on in America. That's a partnership between China and the Democratic Party. They're doing a lot of really crazy stuff right now. So make sure you send in a letter to the P.O. Box. Greatly appreciated to get on the letter list because that is part of the government and is not subject to private company manipulation. It's subject to the First Amendment because it's a public organization. So make sure you send those letters in, boys and girls. All right, let's go back. Can't say that enough with all the nonsense that's going on right now. He's like, well, I'm done. I'm out. No, he does open it. I like the spooky sound effects he added in. Very nice. Why are you looking, Concernicus? Ah. Ooh. This is like the creepiest unboxing of all time. Go on. Ooh, it looks like a mannequin head with a hat on it. Is that a lunchbox? Oh, it's got like a knife through its head of a mannequin with blood down it. What in the... It's wrapped in plastic wrap like Dexter. What logo is that? Is anyone familiar with that logo? Looks like a what appears to be a stylized E over an A. Could be like A and E? Maybe isn't that a TV network? A&E TV? No, it's not? Okay. Jeez, imagine you're out metal detecting and you find this. I mean, it's clearly not real blood or anything. It's spray painted, but still, really freaky. What in the... Is that like a lunchbox? Oh, that's the end. That's the end of the video. Okay, well, we don't get to find out what's in the lunchbox, I guess. So that is the serial killer discovery by a metal detector. So he was going through and just found that out in the woods, and I guess he booked it because he didn't want to be around wherever someone like that lived. Absolutely insane, absolutely terrifying stuff there. And with that, we're gonna move on to the next segment, which is fantastic cryptids and where to find them. Today we're going to be talking about and forgive me, my fellow Greek men, and by fellow I don't know what I mean. I'm not Greek. Thank you. I'm not Greek, but I mean that I am a fan of your people, in particular Plato, Aristotle, and Socrates. Big fans. That being said, please don't be mad at me for the acephaly and the Blemmyes. Those are my attempts. We're going to be looking into that cryptid here today, and that's what we got here on the screen. These guys are weirdos, okay? Now, what makes this even more bizarre of a cryptid is this is a lot like the dog people ones that we looked into, where there is a massive amount of references to this people from multiple sources that say, no, this is just a group of people that totally exist. And so there's a bunch of... Oh, I left the title from the last one on there. My goodness. Again, sorry, guys. We didn't have time to do the full show here today. But nonetheless, I can fix that one for when we edit it here. And then fix that for you real quick. Boom. Boom. Look at that. All right. Boom. So these are a group of people who supposedly had They're humanoid-like creatures, but they had their heads on the center of their chest. So their eyes and mouth were on their chest. Now, lots and lots of people are encountering this group. The Greeks have reference to them, and the Romans also have reference to them, and they were both discovered independently of each other. In fact, they have been found and referenced by different cultures that did not have contact with each other from Asia, Africa, and South America. All of these people have described them. In fact, Alexander the Great went and went to war with these people, captured 30 of them, and brought them back as a war conquest to prove that they existed. So it's like these are a group of people that have a lot of people saying they're real. In fact, and this is not something that was like, oh, this is 10,000 years ago that people were worrying about this. No. Christopher Columbus was believed that he was going to discover the Blemmyes people when he was on his adventures. Like, he's like, well, this is where they're supposed to be, so I guess I'm going to be running into them. So this is not like a really old school, like, 30,000 years ago, the giants of history. It's like, no, these are just groups of people that people have been running into for forever. And so that is the Blemmyes Cryptid, and there's a lot of evidence to support them. However, not a lot of evidence in terms of videos. So I found a few videos. Frankly, I think all of them fall under the category of, like, I could see how that's a magic trick or a computer image thing, but they are still compelling. I'm not getting the vibe of, like, oh, these are real.
Oh, hey.
Get off the screen.
I found on my laptop.
Get out of the screen. Yeah, the reason you buy cars is so that you can find your chapstick. It's just so stupid. You're such just garbage people at advertising. All right, so this is the first video that we got here of what appears to be a sighting of a Blemmie. So this guy's just walking down the street. And he doesn't appear to have a head on his shoulders. He's just walking through without a head. So at first when you see it, you think maybe he just has a really, really dark head, right? And it's like, okay, so it's just blending in with the black. I can almost, honestly, my eyes play a trick on me and put in the head there. Like, when I see this walk, I'm like, oh, maybe his head is really, really black, and the background is also black. Maybe this is what's happening here. But then he gets to the white podium. Like, literally, I feel like I can see a shape of his head here. I feel like right there I can literally see his head. But then, just nothing. Absolutely bizarre. It doesn't look like video editing. It is. So, I mean, I feel like you could also recreate this illusion, though, if you went like this. Or, like, walking around. But why would you be doing that? So, unless you're trying to, you know, make a scary video. And so this is referencing to obviously what we're talking about here now, the Blemmyes. So that's the first video that we have here of what appears to be a Blemmyes sighting. And so we're going to take a look at the next video here that we have of a similar situation. This one's going over in Bangladesh. Okay, so this is another one that I feel like it was like the blue, white and gold dress, blue black dress. This is a similar illusion for me. I swear that it's just a very short girl walking with her hair, and then it turns into a headless guy. Let me show you what I mean. Alright, so this is the group of friends that supposedly has the headless person. So the first two people are normal. What I see walking behind them is a short girl with long hair, black hair. Do you see? What do you see?
I'm on it.
Okay. So yeah, I see a short girl with long black hair walking behind them. But when they zoom in, it looks like a guy with no head. So I still see girl with, now it's starting to look like a guy. Look at that. Isn't that weird? But you can still kind of see a short girl too, if it hits the right angle. So like right here, I feel like really short girl, long hair. What?
It's weird.
It is, isn't it? Here's slow motion version. Now I'm seeing the guy. It's so, but I still can imagine how it could just be a weird angle on a short girl. But it does kind of look like a guy without his head. So I guess that would be a sign of the sighting of the Blemming. And so that is the second Blemmy sighting that we have here, right? What are your thoughts?
If it is a Blemmy, how does it see? Because the shirt is covering.
Exactly. How does it see? It's gotta... It doesn't make much sense to me. I feel like if it was a real Blemmy, what you would see is... you would just... No, like what you would just show up and be like creepy, like you saw in those photos. And you just be like, hi guys, I'm a Blemmy. What's up? Like... What's with all the secrecy? And why do these people not seem to react as if it's real, you know?
When they're out in public.
Yeah, like this one right here. This dude's just walking through busy traffic without a head.
Maybe they have a tiny head?
Look at this. He's just walking through the street on oncoming traffic. They're honking at him. And these people don't seem to react. It's like the most normal thing in the world. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Yeah, we get it, Horn. All right, and so that's the third video of the Blemming sighting. So that's our evidence that we have here on this particular cryptid, and so that is the videos we have today. What are your thoughts? What do you think? I'm torn on this one because it seems ridiculous. Yeah. Like, and the videos are not very convincing at all. Like, we're not looking at the videos and seeing like, oh, that looks legitimate and real and not like an optical issue. But why is it that all of these historical people reference this? Why is it that they say, no, these people are real, we drew pictures of them, we ran into them, and we've captured them, we brought them, and we put them on display? It's quite odd. Matthew's going with Photoshop. So yeah, that's what we're feeling too. It's feeling very Photoshoppy vibe. But why is Alexander the Great going and invading their tribe, capturing 30 of them, bringing them back, and saying, look, we caught them, they're real people? Like, that's the part that gets me. So I'm going with probably somewhere in the middle. I'm gonna say that there's probably something going on, but I'm not sure what. It's just so... I find it difficult to discount the multiple historical references. I think that if you have all these independent people all referencing a group, like, why are they all... It's kind of like dragons. I think there's definitely got to be something to dragons because, like, every culture references them. But I'm not sure. Symbolic artwork, it could be symbolic artwork, but that's not how they describe it. So they describe it as literally a tribe of people that live around like the Libya-ish area, and some of them are in Asia, some of them are in Africa, and multiple groups, Greeks, Romans, Asians, Africans, South Americans, are all like, yeah, no, these things totally exist and are real, and they're a weird group of people, and some people think they're cursed, and so on and so forth. And so that's the Blemmyes. And so very interesting cryptid, very fun to find. And if you guys know more information about the Blemmyes or have any theories of your own, feel free to drop them in the comment section below. And we're going to move on to the next paranormal paracosm. So this next paranormal paracosm is insane. So this guy's just doing some work on his house. Just going out, maybe doing a little remodeling. Maybe he's gonna go and build a new, lay some stone in the ground. Nothing too crazy. Unfortunately for him, he discovers his house is a little less than stable, I guess you could say. So this is his standard little suburban house out here. First recommendation right off the bat, can we get a better paint job? You're going with creamy pink, huh? That's the color you're gonna go with? Okay.
We have lived in our home for 28 years.
28 years.
Recently we discovered, we love our home, but recently we discovered a little
I like how you threw that other caveat in. We love our home. Don't
bit of a
be
problem.
mad.
In our back porch where I put flagstone.
So he's pouring some stone, just doing some housework. What a normal, average, everyday guy, doing nothing fancy. Just getting the job done, making his house nicer. What a great guy. Maybe the next thing you could do is get a better paint job. Just saying.
I found this hole that started to appear about a month ago. And we then corked it, took the flagstone off, and this is what we found. This hole goes down, down, down.
Yeah. There's an entire underground cave of like 100-foot drop just under his house.
A giant cavern that's 16 feet
16, okay.
deep.
Still. A 16-foot cavern has been built underneath his house. He's been living here for 30 years or 28 years and has never had any issues at all. Goes to do a little stonework and notices a 16-foot hole in the ground underneath his house. Just for whatever reason, who knows?
How crazy.
You think a serial killer made it to dispose of bodies?
Found some new bodies.
We figure it was a
That's
well
true.
from 60, 70 years ago,
Oh, wow, that makes sense.
but we're not sure. It's the craziest thing we've ever seen.
I would agree. I would turn it into my own bat cave.
This lad, we uncovered.
That would be so cool.
Expand
It's
it.
gonna be
Yeah, now I'd go down to the bottom and just start digging.
Grapple hook.
Ooh.
So, always not assume what's in your backyard.
Yeah, seriously. We're learning that a lot lately. Apparently, the #1 spot to find new species is your backyard. And apparently, the #1 spot to find giant tunnels is your backyard, too. Apparently, if you're Craig here. And so that is the spooky chamber under this guy's backyard. Pretty intense stuff. And just amazing how many amazing, mysterious things are just hiding right below the surface. All right, and let's go here to the next segment, which is practical philosophy. Today's quote comes from the one, the only, the legend, Aristotle. And the quote is, "A friend to all is a friend to none." And this is an important philosophical point that you really need to incorporate into your life if you want to live a happy and healthy life. You should not be building your social circles, or I'm sorry, that's exactly what you should be doing. You should build your social circles on your core values instead of building your values on your social circles. And most people do the latter rather than the former. You really shouldn't. What most people do is they get a group of friends, people who treat them nicely, and then they figure out what those people believe, and then they make their values that. And that is a really dangerous path to be on and can really lead to some really dangerous scenarios. This is, while it might sound surface level, and this is what you tell kids in kindergarten, These are the things that literally bring about the Soviet Union, where they murdered 50 million people because they believed in helping people and doing the right thing with business. This is what leads to Nazism and the death of Jews in the Holocaust. This is what leads to bullying. This is what leads to crime, gangs. This is what leads to organizations trying to overthrow governments. And it's all boiled down to this one principle here that Aristotle so succinctly surmises, which is you got to build your values first and then build your social circle around those values. If you're trying to be a people pleaser, it's not only a foolish effort, it's an effort that's going to lead to suffering 100% of the time. There's no benefit to it, and you're going to fail at it no matter what. There's no way to be successfully a people pleaser because you will always offend someone. Or as Aristotle put it in a different quote, the best way to offend no one is to do nothing, say nothing, and be nothing. And so you can put that into... take that into consideration if you want to try that strategy. And so what this really boils down to is you should not compromise on the truth, and you should not compromise on your values. If you are with people who are asking you to change those values and to not follow truth, you shouldn't change your values. You shouldn't change your truth. You should change your friends. Your truth and your values comes first and foremost. Do not sacrifice truth for anything. Truth is something that you should be willing to die for, in my opinion. And that's the path to happiness and true friendship. Because if you're trying to make everyone your friend, you will be a friend to none. And that is today's practical philosophy. I hope that helped you out. I hope that gave you guys some insights. And we're going to close up the stream here. Do we have any other live wizard readings for today? Nope. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, sorry we screwed up. We did not get the promotion out. We didn't get the TikTok shows out. We didn't get the Instagram update out. We didn't get the Facebook out. I get it. And I know YouTube will never promote our content organically. They hate our content. They hate our stream. They hate our videos. And so the only way this gets out is when we choose to manually grow this thing, which, by the way, ties in with what we were saying. Please make sure you guys are sending in your letters at P.O. Box 8888, Missoula, Montana 59807. It doesn't have to have finances. You don't need to do anything fancy. But when you send a letter, we have a letter, we have your address, and we're able to open up a network of a letter club. That's what we do. Stay in communication with people, stay in connection with our communities. If there's any disruptions in these communication lines, then that's going to be the place to go. And with the way things are going right now, there could be some disruptions. We're already seeing mass censorship across the board. We watched 150 subscribers get deleted from our channel literally in a day. So it is sad what's happening, and it doesn't matter if you're Republican, it doesn't matter if you're Democrat, it doesn't matter what your political stance is. You could be an anarcho-capitalist, you could be an anarcho-communist. It doesn't matter who you are, what you believe in. Monarchist, just thinking of all the different forms of government now. It does not matter. They will come for you. They will ban you. They will delete you on free platforms, regardless of what you believe in, because they don't have a political ideology. These are evil people. They are worshipers of Satan. They don't care what you think or believe. They just want to hurt you. So, develop strong communication lines with people who don't do those things, and a great way to do that is to send letters at P.O. Box 8881, Missoula, Montana 59807, and we will have a strong, secure communication line that will be harder to break than these free digital platforms. And of course, we have our secret Discord. If you're interested in that, send me a DM, and we will check your profile out and see if you're a good fit. And then from there, we will send you the Discord link. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the show today. We're going to go ahead and close it up, and we'll be back here again, same place, same time, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Pacific Coast Time. Talk to you guys later. Have a good night. Peace.